Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Paramātmane Namaha. अथ नवमोऽध्यायः श्रीभगवानुवाच न च मत्स्थानि भूतानि पश्य मे योगमैश्वरम् भूतभृन् च भूतस्थः ममात्मा भूतभावनः यथाकाशस्थितो नित्यं वायुः सर्वत्र गोमहान् तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि मत्स्थानीत्यपुधारय सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकां कल्पक्षय पुनस्तानि कल्पादौ विसृजाम्यहं प्रकृतिं स्वामवष्टभ्यः विसृजामि पुनः पुनः भूतग्राममिमं कृत्स्नम् avasham prakrti vrasha. All right. So we were talking about this interesting verse. Actually, fourth and fifth go together. And in this, Bhagwan is talking about that what you are experiencing, So let me start with that. Ki the existence of all that we are seeing as this means idam, anything. And that means all the objects of the world, all the experiences of the world, all the places of the world, even the thoughts that we are experiencing are also idam. Because this thought, I have a thought means thought arises, I experience it, and then it goes away. Everything that is in the realm of experience is called idam. And Bhagavan says it is supported by me, which is aham. See, Bhagavan is saying mam. Here Bhagavan uses the word me, which does not mean Bhagavan as third party. Bhagavan as I in me. Bhagavan as the drashta in me. He is the one illuminating all these experiences. So let's say, if there is an object and I am able to experience that object, then that existence of that object is Bhagavan, which means that this existence is because of Bhagavan, the isness that we are talking about. And then there were several examples that we talked about, the clay and pot, that everything that is made of clay, whether it is a pot or a saucer or a cup or anything, a gamla, anything that we experience, which is made up of the clay, the clay is the cause of that, right? But the existence of a pot is not real because it is only nama rupa. It is actually clay only in a different form. Same way Bhagavan says, this jagat that we experience is me in a different form. Just nama roop alag alag hai. But you are actually experiencing me, which is aham. Let's go through some other examples, So it says, I am the adhishtan. Adhishtan means I am the substratum. I I am the cause for this whole Jagat. This Jagat has no existence without me. See, Bhagavan talked about in 7th chapter, he has a Shakti. One is Parashakti and Aparashakti. Aparashakti is what manifests as experienced, and Parashakti is what becomes the experiencer, which is mind, intellect, all senses, everything that is in the subtle form, which is experiencing, is the Parashakti. But they are both Bhagwan's Shakti, and knowing about that is called Jnanam. That I am the one because of which these Shaktis are, or I am the one who is experiencer of both para and apara, is called Vijnanam. That identification is the main thing. And then Bhagavan says, let me just repeat that, we talked about it. I pervade the whole Jagat. Pervade means like the gold pervades all the ornaments. That means the ornament is only Namarup, which is superimposed on gold. Because gold alone is. That part is clear, I hope, But Bhagavan is saying that I pervade the whole Jagat in my unmanifest form. Avyakta. Avyakta means when something is Vyakta. Vyakta means that I can see, touch, smell, hear, taste, all that experience possible. That means Bhagavan is in the Vyakta form, in manifest form. But when Bhagavan says, in my unmanifest form, I am supporting it. That means only the unmanifest is true. Everything else is only appearance. So that was first thing. Means like ornaments is an effect and gold is the cause. That part we have to remember, right? So the effects actually exist in gold only. They are not outside of the gold. If you take the gold out of ornament, then nothing remains. So that means the dependence of the ornaments is 100% on the gold. Same way, the existence or the dependence of Jagat is 100% on Avyakta Bhagavan, Paramātmā. That part is clear, right? Chahe clear na bhi ho, the more we repeat, it becomes clearer, So sometime we have to repeat that. Then Bhagavan says, I am not in them. What does it mean? I am not in them. That means that the cause can exist without the effect. That means gold can exist without the ornament. But ornament cannot exist without gold. Okay? So that means there is no dependence. And we gave the example of water and the ocean and the waves. So ocean can exist without waves, but waves cannot exist without ocean. Then ocean says, you know what? For me, the waves are nothing but me alone. It is not different from me. I am the wave. Every wave is me only. Right? So Bhagavan is saying, I am everything. So existence is the cause. See, sometimes it's very hard concept because it took me a long time to understand that when we say this phone, uski sab qualities we can say, this is the size of it, this is the color of it, this is what it does. All these are its qualities, right? Is existence quality of this phone? We say phone exists. Phone exists doesn't mean that existence is quality of the phone. That means it becomes purview of my experience. That's what existence means. Is it all making sense? Just not those who have not showing their face, but I want to make sure that you are with me. I'm not losing anybody. So anyways, we'll continue. So दो point important that we need to understand, that ये तो समझ आ गया ना what existence is. Existence means it is dependent on the experiencer. Okay. Because it is my experience. So that means their existence is in my experience. क्योंकि कुछ चीज आप देखते हो, that means you can say, oh, rainbow exists. Now, rainbow's existence is dependent on my experience of that. कि मेरे को दिख रहा है, you know. That's why I say it exists, even if it is unreal. You
So
know?
that's talking about the 5 indriyas that we have. The
Not
experience.
India. I am talking about the aham. I am talking about the reason for any experience to be possible.
Oh, so beyond the indriya.
It is beyond Indriya. Yes, yes. Indriyas are also experienced.
Right.
When I see something, the Indriyas are experienced too. It is in purview of my experience. If I am able to see, because if I can't see something, then I say, oh, where are my glasses? You know, that means I am not able to see clearly. Then I use some additional instrument to rectify that. So that means even the vision is a experience. Okay. So the existence is the cause that doesn't depend on the existence of the effect. Okay, let's continue. Then we say, जैसे waves है. Waves can be small, waves can be big, waves can be killing other waves, you know. We have like, you know, big waves come and they eat up the small waves, or the small waves slowly become big waves, you know, as they gather momentum. So the cause, which is the ocean, is not affected by any of those things. That part is clear? Yes. Okay. Because it is untouched by the effect. Same way, gold की आज chain बनाई है, कल को उसकी bangle बना लो. You know, you can convert the ornaments from one namarup to another namarup, you know. So, but the gold doesn't change. The gold is the reason for the ornament, but ornament is not the reason for the gold. Okay. So Paramātmā never becomes the effect. It is always the cause. So that is why it can never become an object of our experience. That's the main point that we have to understand. So the sansar is nothing but namarup only, right? Everything is namarup. Namarup means roop includes all the qualities. So you have an object and it has some qualities. That's what namarup is. But its existence is dependent on Paramātmā. Namrup is not Aadhar for I. It is not dependent on I. No. Aadhar for I means I is not dependent on Namarup. But Namarup is dependent on I. My experience of the object is dependent on that I am able to experience it. That part we should understand. Nacha masthani bhutani. All these Bhagavan says, all these bhutas are not in me also. What does that mean? Ocean says, by me, all the waves exist. By me and in me, all the waves exist. Right? Waves have no existence other than ocean. I cannot say, अच्छा जरा 5 waves ले आना ocean से, because the existence of the waves is only in the ocean. So it says, ocean says, but I do not exist in the waves. इसको जरा थोड़ा मननम करना पड़ेगा इस पे. I do not exist in the waves means that my existence don't depend on the waves. Waves are there, waves are not there, doesn't matter. They are just me in a different form. That's it. I am just playing in that. So say same thing Bhagwan is saying. So from the water standpoints, wave don't even exist. It is just water only. Water को तो नाम दे दिया हमने एक wave करके. But it is just water. There's nothing but, ocean is nothing but water. So water alone is. So उसके लिए, there is a word in Chandogya Upanishad, we learned that, and we also talked about it in Dragdrashya Vivek. So it says, Vacha Rambanam Vicharo Namadheyam, that it is only for discussion only. It really don't have any existence. When we talked about Nama Rupa, they are there for discussion. That's it. So, but the gold and wave example is also limited, to some extent, because you can say gold is an object too, So same thing with waves and ocean are also limited, but same thing now. The third example we talked about was rope and snake. Rope and snake is a little different because wave is there. You can experience that. But when we are talking about rope and snake, only snake is visible to us because of the illusion. We are not seeing, we cannot see rope and snake simultaneously. You understand? When we see rope, we don't see snake. When we see snake, we don't see rope. So that is a little different example, but because if the rope says, I am supporting snake 100%, that means without rope, the snake is not possible. Snake is only an appearance. It is not real. Same way, Jagat is only an appearance. It is just Nama Rupa, which is projected on Bhagwan, on Paramātmā. Making sense? Okay. Because snake is 100% dependent on rope, but rope has zero dependence on snake. That means if snake is there or snake is not there, whether you see snake or you don't see snake, doesn't matter to rope, because rope's existence is 100%, because rope alone is, everything else is a superimposition on that. That is called agyan. When we start seeing superimposition as real. Okay. Now let's continue with this. Right now, in the beginning stages of Vedanta, we talk about there is Paramātmā and there is Jagat. Jagat, Paramātmā is Nitya. Nitya means it is changeless, it is permanent, and Jagat is Anitya. It is going through continuous change. Jayate, what is it called? It is a constant changing thing. And then we have the Paramātmā as the Adhar, as the substratum, and the Jagat is the adheya, or it is the supported. So Jagat is Namarupa, and Paramātmā, or the Brahma, is the supporter. It is the adhishthan of this whole thing. Later on, we go to that state where we say Paramātmā alone is Jagat. What is appearing is only Namarupa, which is the conditioned reality. It's not the absolute reality. So, and that Bhagavan says is Guhyam. Guhyam means that is the secret I am telling you, you know. So it is, or Guhyam also means it is very subtle. It's, once you understand, when you grasp it, it is the most subtle, hard to grasp knowledge that I am trying to convey to you. That's what Bhagavan is saying in here. But what is the point of getting this knowledge? You know, why should I worry about it? You know, Ketan, this is what gives you abhayam. See, the abhaya is from snake. Bhaya is not from rope. See, once you understand everything is Paramatma only, you see that there is no damage, that no harm can come to you. I alone am in every form, you know. So that is what gives us the abhayam. Abhayam and anandam, they are all, actually देखा जाए तो they are क्या बोलते हैं उसके, पर्यायवाची, you know, they are synonyms. But we don't see it that way right now, because we think of anandam as something that we experience in our mind. But the absence of any fear is abhayam, you know, is anandam. So uske liye the next line it says, Susukham kartum avyayam. Susukham is most desirable. That is why this knowledge is so important. It is the most desirable because it is kartum avyayam, you know. What we do is, we are the ones who make distinctions. I am a man, I am a woman, I am Hindu, I am Muslim, I am Christian, Phalana, Dhimka, you know, all kinds of, you know, distinctions are made in this world. Jisko Tulsidas ji says, Maya or more torate Maya. Me and mine, you and yours, you know. This distinctions is what causes the problems. If we don't see Bhagwan in everything, then we are not getting it right. So Bhagwan says, it is not that I become something. Bhagwan doesn't become Jagat. Bhagwan says it is not becoming, it is only appearing. See, there is a difference between the two, between becoming and appearing. Like rope ke andar snake is appearing. But when we talk about yogurt and doodh, then yogurt, the doodh has now metamorphized into yogurt. It has changed itself. Bhagavan is not becoming Jagat. Jagat is appearing on Bhagavan in the avyakta form. So that Bhagavan says, Pashya Yoga Maishwaram. This is, look at this as my Aishwarya Yoga. Aishwarya Yoga means it is what makes impossible possible. You know, that is the Aishwaryam. Bhagavan's Aishwaryam. You know, this is divinity of Bhagavan. This is how, what makes Bhagavan makes it possible. So, Bhut Bhran, that means it is the nourisher and it is the sustainer of all the bhutas. Bhuta means any creature, starting from the bacteria, from the microbiomes. You know, who is taking care of microbiomes? Do you think you are taking care of it? because you eat food, microbiomes then grow. No, it is just Bhagwan doing it. From microbiomes to macrocosm, from the the largest cosmos to the smallest things, is all taken care of by Bhagwan. It is the Bhut Brahman. That means it is the nourisher and sustainer of all the creatures. Whether it is living or not living. That means whether those who move, those who don't move, all are taken care of Bhagwan. Mamatma bhut bhavanaha. That means my true nature is untouched by this countless play of samsara. So that means this countless play of samsara is happening on me. On me means I like a show on a TV. It is does the TV get affected if there is a fire in the show? Do you go with the fire extinguisher? Let me take care of it. Or on a screen, they are not affected. Same way, the samsara is like that. It's appearing. So, samsara means this infinite number of galaxies, the cosmos. So, Bhagavan says, Bhut Bhavana, that I am the generator of all the bhutas, So, interesting stuff. Then he says, it is Mamatma. Mamatma means, Bhagavan says Mamatma in this verse, which means, Mama means my Atma. When we say my something, my shirt, my pant, my house, then me and that thing is separate. But here, Shankaracharya qualifies it. He says, it is not two separate things. Mama Atma is one. Bhagavan is just qualifying it. That it is my Atma, which is also everybody's Atma, which is also the self in all of us. So it is an expression only. That's what we have to understand. So Bhagavan tells Arjuna, look at it as my Aishwarya Yoga. Without becoming, I am appearing in this many forms. So that's the... but what happens is, when we are discussing it, we become so... what do you call it? Obsessed with whatever thoughts and philosophies we have. If I have a philosophy about Bhagwan, that my Bhagwan is this way, or my Bhagwan is that way, then I will fight with each other, that my Bhagwan is the true Bhagwan. You don't know, your Bhagwan is not the true Bhagwan. You may get into arguments with people like that. So, says it's no point. Everything is me alone. So if they say, I am Jesus Christ, then I am Jesus Christ. I am appearing in that form. If they say, no, I am Allah, then I am appearing in that form. What's the problem? Why fight about it? But understand that I am the substratum of everything without a single exception. That part we have to, because there are, vrittis are there. Vritti means thoughts. Aham thought and idam thought. This or I, right? Even first you have to understand that all this is Bhagwan only. Then you have to understand that the aham thought is also Bhagwan. And sometimes we think aham vritti is the I thought, which is also an experience, right? Because it is the ego, right? The aham vritti. Vritti means a thought. Thought means which has a life, which is born, which stays, which is gone, right? Aham thought is born with every experience. understand this. Important. Aham is not continuous. Aham thought we are talking. Aham and aham thought are two separate things. Aham vritti is I thought, which is basically what we call as the ahankar. So ahankar is usually what it does. It doesn't exist on its own. It tries to grab something else to support. Jaise, I know something. When I say I know, that means I have started to identify with the intellect. Say, I'm happy. That means I have started to identify with mind. I am hungry. I am thirsty. That means I am with the pranas. So I am good looking. I am ugly. All these are physical. I am old. I am, So that means it has already identify itself as something other than what it is. So that is aham vritti. So that's now to conclude, I'll give you another example. Enough examples, The best example for me is the dream example. So when you have a dream, suppose let's close our eyes and now let me explain that there is a dream where you have invited friends for a party and all the friends have come. You are also there in your dream. It's not like you are missing. You are also there in the dream. There is food in the dream. There is, people are all dressed up nicely. Somebody is looking good. Somebody is not looking good. Somebody is angry. Somebody is happy, So all these experiences are happening in that dream. Now, everything in that dream, whether it is people, whether it is food, whether it is, their expressions, who has created all that? You have created all that, your mind has generated everything, right? So the experience of that dream is just like a miniature world that you create. In that miniature world, we are experiencing all the different things, that we experience in the Jagrat Avastha also. So in the dream, that when we say, my friend X is there, now this my friend X is pervaded by who? Myself, I alone pervade that. That means without me, that person doesn't exist in my dream. So that all the experience of the dream is only possible in this dream world that we have created. Now, extrapolate that. So think of that I, which is creating this Jagat. It's like that. It's a this is how we have to understand that everything that we see in our dream is me alone. Every friend is me. I have created that. I have, all that which is happening because of that I have projected it. It is not real. It is only appearance, right? In that form. So that is the Aishwarya Yoga of the mind, the mini mind, the mini I that is creating this dream world is the miniature form of the Aishwarya Yoga. So that's what Bhagwan is saying. Because aham is the absolute reality. Absolute reality means It is the substratum on which all the things are appearing. Without that, nothing is possible. It is the cause of everything. And idam is a relative or dependent reality. It is, what should I say? So now question comes, then what is the relationship? It says it is relationless relationship. Really, there is no relationship, but it appears that way. So now Bhagavan says, okay, let me give you an example. The next verse is, Yatha ākāśa sthito nityam vayu sarvatra go mahan tatha sarvani bhutani matsthani tyupadharaya. That means just as the space exists, right? Space is there everywhere, right? And yatha ākāśa. Ākāśa means space. That means it is nitya. It is always there. Space is not changing. Space is nitya. That means changeless. And vayu sarvatra go mahan. But the air is existing in the space. Air has no existence other than space. That means it has to have space for its existence. Without space, the air cannot exist. But space can exist without air because there is a limit of atmosphere, right? After, I don't know how many miles, 100 miles or 200 miles, there is no air after that. So air has limited existence. But space is unlimited. Space has no limits, So that's what Bhagavan is saying. Vayu sarvatra go mahan. That means the air is moving within space. So it is totally 100% dependent on the space. Tatha sarvani bhutani. Same way, the creatures exist in me. Same way, the creatures exist in me. Matsthani apyudharayet. That means I support them, all the movement of the creatures in me. Just like space is supported by, or the air is supported by the space, same way, all the creatures, all the experiences are supported by me. This is a beautiful example that Bhagavan gives in the 6th verse. What we will do is we will do a more thorough examination of this in our next session, which is next Tuesday. But I will open up for discussion or thoughts or whatever.
Hi, Rajiv ji. I have a couple of questions. I'm in the car, so I'll ask them quickly and then you can answer them.
Sure.
One is that an overall question that this explanation is fine conceptually and logically, I can follow it, but how to actually practice it, that's one thing. Second thing, the dream example is, I think, also not quite complete because when we wake up, the dream world disappears. So
True.
maybe a more accurate analogy would be that is the distinction between being in the dream and not knowing it, meaning actually being affected by the dream, versus having a lucid dream. There are such things, you can actually be awake in your dream and even directed. That's the second thing. The third thing was ki, suppose we look at whatever you have described as a Sankhya Yoga or like a Nirgun kind of explanation. Brahman is the same thing what you are saying. But because Bhagwan says, "Main hi sab mein hu," that is more personal, so that is more like a Sagun kind of expression because there's a being. He says, "Main sab mein hu," or "Wo sab mein hai," whatever, like all the three things that you said. So those three things I'll mention, then I'll now go on mute. Thanks.
Okay.
Let's conclude first, Rajiv.
Yeah, let's conclude and then I'll answer the question. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti
Shanti,
Shanti. Let's do the Triambakam also. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. All right. Let me